People say, oh, the following ratio is about ego. I'm not gonna lie, the following ratio is about value. People buy followers. People follow for follow. People even follow people and then unfollow people later so that they can correct the ratio. You know how to fix that? Just make fucking good value. That's all you have to do. Bring consistent value to people, turn on that engine, and let that motherfucker stall. Keep it on. You don't turn that engine off. Most people, they're following more people than follows them. You're just not bringing value. And that's completely fine. If you're just somebody, you're just on social media just to consume. But if you're somebody, you're trying to create a business, you're somebody, you're trying to bring value, and then your follower ratio is fucked up, it's time to not look outwards, not point the blame, not point the finger. Oh, they're not messing with me because they haters. Or they're not messing with me because like, they don't want to see me win. Or we can all eat, but like, you know what I'm saying? Where was you when I needed, you know what I'm saying? How about you just look at you and look at the content you're providing, and how can you pivot, make your content better? I used to hate the algorithm. The algorithm is literally, it follows the law of attraction. If you give value, the algorithm will bless you with followers.
Eating to live, yeah, I'm living to eat. Catch me enjoying vegan recipes. Fiend for chlorophyll.
Greetings, it's your boy Gartatia. Today we are talking about something a lot of people ask me about. It is, how can I build my tribe, right? A lot of you all are, in college, working a side job, also working on your purpose, getting in those, little hours between studying, to do some research so that you can become that personal trainer when you graduate, so that you can start that TV show when you graduate. We got these people, they're working 2 jobs and got children, but what are they doing? They invest in that money in a camera on the side so they can start building up that talent so that when they do finally quit their job, they're out here already getting networks from hotshot clients, right? We got these people who retired, these people who in their 50s, in their 60s, they've been journaling for years. They've been at the Thanksgiving dinner, been talking about how they're gonna start their bakery company, right? And they finally retire, 401k clutch, and then they're investing in certificates. They're getting their gluten-free license. They're starting, they're taking consultation, they're taking trainings to become legit, right? And I've seen all of these people. I've been a lot of these people. And the biggest problem I see is a lot of these people underestimate the value of having a platform. People sleep on having a platform. Look at the biggest people, the biggest influencers today in today's society. Look at them. Kim Kardashian. Where did she start off? Okay, she had her 5 seconds of fame, the sex tape of Ray J. Okay, then she vanished. She fell off the face of the earth. When did she become like in your face all the time? The Kim Kardashian show. Platform. Right? A platform could be a show. Let's look at someone else. We have Tyra Banks. Amazing model. Yes, she had her fan base. Yes, she was famous. But when did she become super talented? When did she become super talked about, super in your face? It's after she got her TV show, The Tyra Banks Show. Right? The Wendy Williams Show, same thing. These people have learned to capitalize on the fame that they have and then take that to the next level with starting a show. Let's get some more examples out there. Let's look at like Nori. Huge rapper in like early 2000s. I remember him on Def Jam Vendetta, right? He kind of had his show. He had a few bangers, classics, but kind of fell off the earth. No one, literally from like 2004 to 2014, no one heard of him. Then he comes out with Drink Champs. Now you bring Kanye on. Now you bring Meek Mill on. Now you bring in Snoop Dogg. Like all these, A-list celebrities on. Drink Champs is like popping now. He'll never have to work another day in his life because of the networks he's built and the clout he now has, because he now has digital social proof of the caliber of people that he's working with. So no, people would be a fool to refuse to work with Nori because he's related to these billionaires. Kanye West is a billionaire. Who else? Joe Budden. Similar like Nori, he was a rapper, had a few success stories back in like the early 2000s, but kind of fell off. When he popped back up, started the Joe Budden Show, bringing on different hip hop artists, bringing on these different guests. Now the Joe Budden Show is like top 10 in entertainment podcasts, right? Who else? We have just Jay Shetty. We have Joe Rogan. This dude was a UFC commentator. This dude was a comedian, right? Yes, he was successful. UFC is big, but he didn't he's literally the biggest podcast in the world, if I believe. And this guy literally started off as a commentator, comedy, and he did start a long time ago though, like I think 2009. But it just shows you like the longer you have a platform, it just snowballs. And I love his story. He actually breaks down how it started. He said like he was just doing it cheap quality. Didn't even have a mic. Like it was just like a headset mic and he was just on webcam. It was just him and his boy just like on the computer talking about random shit for like the first 100 episodes. Shitty quality. But he just kept doing it. He just kept doing it. And he went from like just this bullheaded stubbornness, just kept doing it. And look at him now. Like 2010, he said not really nothing. 2011, not really nothing. But in 2012, so 3 years in, that's when he finally start seeing, okay, guests are starting to come on, comedians are starting to come on, celebrities are starting to come on. And all you need, and the trick about building a platform is all you need to like go to that next level is like all you need is that one kind of bigger guest with the bigger following. And once you get that one guest, it's cake. Because a lot of people, they need to see other people mess with you before they mess with you. More on that later. I'll talk about that more. I say all these examples to say don't sleep on the impact of building your own platform. A lot of you all try to build your platform through convincing people. Like, I promise I have the best app that is going to wake you up on time and that is going to manage all your chores and help you set your goals. And I promise it's good because my friend said it's good and then my mom said it's good. So I promise it'll work, guys. Please download my app. And it's like, just literally doing that is like a 1 in a million chance that you're gonna blow up because there's a million people trying that same method and the competition is literally endless. You can be as smart as you want. You can actually have a really good app. You can actually have a great app. The problem is if people cannot see the value in the app, if you can't communicate the value in that app in a way that sparks people's feelings, in a way that sparks people's emotions, if to get people to like you, it's like a relationship. You need to become obsessed with not only what you think, you have to become obsessed with what they think because people will only buy things if they feel that it's going to give them results. People don't buy things to make you happy. Maybe your mom did so you could stop crying. You know, like, Mommy, I want McDonald's Happy Meal. And they're just like, okay, Timmy. They just give you the Happy Meal to shut you up. That's not doing things because they want to, though. People, like, as much as you try to trip yourself, as much as you try to, your fantasy idealistic world that, oh, they did this for me. Trust me, people do every single thing they do. Even your parents. It is because for their own, I hate to say it, selfish reasons. Very few people do things unconditionally just for you and don't expect, even if it's not nothing bad, even if it's just the mere fact if them doing things gives them pleasure, that's still doing it for them because to give or to serve people brings them pleasure. So it's still in a sense selfish. But that's beside the point. Just understand that yes, you have value to give to this world. Yes, you can bring results. However, in today's day and age with social media, with TikTok, with Instagram, with all these people, with all these business ideas, all trying to become entrepreneurs at the same time, the competition is so fierce that A, nobody wants to work with anybody who A, doesn't have social proof, and B, who doesn't have a way to show the value in the product that they're offering, right? So how do you do this, right? A lot of people are saying, okay, how do I build a tribe? How do I start a platform? And I'm glad you asked. There are a lot of ways to start a platform. Me personally, I started my platform. You all know the Treehouse Show, the podcast, right? That's what I'm known for. Yes, I did it the shady way. I'm not going to lie. I did buy followers. I did, get this weird promotional service that promised organic views. We guarantee you all the followers are, looking at your videos and they're the type to actually like your video. Shut the fuck up. It was all a scam. And it worked for a while. It was a little band-aid. And it probably did get me some guests because they saw I had a decent following and they saw that my posts were getting 500 likes and they saw me getting, comments over 50 and stuff. So that probably did convince a lot of people who were like on the wall, like, well, I may not be like vibing with what he talks about, but he does have clout, or they thought it was clout. So we'll come on the show. And the problem is, the reason I'm mentioning this before I even talk about different ways that you can build your tribe is, please don't do this. Don't go down the route of building a fake audience off of purchased services. Because it doesn't get you anywhere, because there's a lot of other people doing it, and it's just going to be competing with people. It becomes pay to play at that point. So it becomes basically the people with the most money who pay the most money on those services will automatically win that game. And that game is not even, the game is set up for you to lose. So it's, you pay more money, and in that game of like the fake audience, you win that game, but that game is, the rules are made so you lose anyway, right? And the reason you lose regardless is the way that game works is none of your fans or none of your bought audience are actually true fans. So what happens is, these are the type of people, they have 1 million TikTok followers, and then they go perform at, Madison Square Garden, and only 10 people show up. These are the people who have 1 million Instagram followers and get all these millions of views and millions of so-and-so, but then only get like 10 views on their story. These are the people who have 150,000 followers on Twitter, right? And then you go to their repost, they don't get any reposts. Nobody's sharing their shit because it's not real people. No one actually fucks with them. It's just all a facade to have this facade, or have this image that they're cloudy, to have this image that they're actually of value. And the thing is, right, what breaks my heart, a lot of these people actually do have services that provide value. The problem that breaks my heart, a lot of people actually do, make music that brings so much value, that's good music, but they get caught up in this ego trap. That's really what it is. And it's almost a rat race of thinking that, well, everybody's doing it. And the people who like sell you on are so good to even trick you, try to say like, oh, your best celebrity's using it too. So you just think that everybody's doing it, so it's okay, and you never stop. Not to go off on a tangent, watch the video on me coming out, and I'll explain in detail about that. I don't want to make this video about those fake, the fake audience, but a huge urgent announcement: shut that shit down. End your subscription, cancel that shit, save your fucking money to get real organic growth, okay? Okay, now we got that out the way. How to build your platform. Just build your platform from scratch, right? Start a new Instagram page, whatever. Start a new TikTok. Just start over. Start with a fresh slate. And from there, think of a way to build a platform. Now, there are a lot of ways you can build a platform. You can build a platform through like a blog. You can build a platform if you're more like a visual person, you like the way you look on camera, you can build like a video podcast. That's what I did with the Treehouse Show. If you feel you are, you're kind of camera shy, but you're good, you're better with just your voice, you can build just an audio podcast. There are a lot of ways you can build your platform, but the most important thing is to just start. Don't worry about the equipment. Don't worry about, oh, I'm recording on my microwave microphone. It doesn't matter. Or I'm recording on my Samsung Galaxy S1. It doesn't fucking matter. Just start. Start. It doesn't matter if you don't have a guest coming on. It doesn't matter if literally you have one follower. It doesn't matter if you don't even know what to talk about. Just record. Just press that juicy red button and press record, because everything that, all the success and all the manifestations that you deserve are on the other side of that red record button, right? So the first step is just start. Don't get overburdened and like, what's it going to be about? Or what am I going to talk about? Or who's am I going to bring on? And how often should I do it? Just start. Now let's start with the often part. As often as possible, but consistency is more important than the oftenness, if that makes sense. Let me repeat it. Do your platform show, your journal entry, your blog post, your newsletter entry, your episode posting, whatever format you're on, just be consistent. So even if you're doing once every 2 weeks, but you consistently do that once every 2 weeks, that's better than doing 4 days a week for 2 weeks and then just taking like a month gap. So even though you had more episodes with the 4-day, it's inconsistent. So like, the following that you do build, since you're organic, are going to be people who followed you because of the content. That means they actually fuck with you, right? So they you got to be nice to them. They want to be consistent. They want to follow somebody who cares about them. And evidence of someone who doesn't care is someone who's not consistent. Because like, What if they really be looking forward to your episodes? I had a guy hit me up from like South America and was like, bro, I've been following your podcast for 6 months. I watch every episode. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. And he was networking me with like some dude that he think that would be good for me to interview. So this is evidence of supporters, on your side. They want to see you win because you're giving them value. And the biggest way to disappoint them is by not being consistent. Now, don't let being consistent though like drive you crazy, right? If you promise to like post every day and you miss like one day, it's not the end of the world. What I'm trying to say is shit is gonna naturally happen in life where you're gonna mess up, and that's cool. It's your niece's birthday and you've missed like two in a row, so now you gotta show up. Okay, miss that. It's a family emergency. Fucking you wake up and like your wrist is hurting, so now you got to get an x-ray. Like it could be any number of reasons that you got to miss something, and that's okay as long as you communicate to the supporters. And I'm not using fans for a reason, I'll explain later. Communicate to your supporters and they'll understand you're human. But the key is prioritize consistency over volume. That is the most important. Now, what should you talk about? Literally, don't give a fuck about what you talk about. Why do I say this? Oh, you mean Gartatia? What do you mean it doesn't matter what I talk about? The reason why it doesn't matter what you talk about, building your platform, building your tribe, the mechanics of it is, so you're a tribe leader, and we're gonna say the people of your kingdom, the people in your village, these are your supporters. So you're a tribe leader, and then everyone in your village are the supporters. And in the village, there's neighboring villages, right? And the key to the most successful people in anything, the biggest influencers, they have a very big village usually, and the neighboring villages, right, want to collab with them. So what'll happen is the neighboring village tribe leader will meet at like in Africa we have this tree. It's like a meeting tree where different villages come, chieftains of the different villages come and meet, and then they do like a trades deal or some negotiation. So just visualize this concept. So the way you grow is you as the tribe leader meet with another village tribe leader, and you all talk, and then that tribe leader will say, for example, I'll give you 2 bushels of corn, right, if you give me 5 buckets of pure water or some shit. You get it's kind of like bartering, but instead of bartering, you all are just really exchanging supporters. So basically it's like I'll send over 2 of my strongest warriors to help you, to help you in this war or something. And then you take 2 of their supporters, and then in exchange, I may give them a product. I may give them money. I may give them some of my supporters. But maybe these aren't warriors. Maybe these supporters are, scientists. Maybe these supporters from my village are, really good chefs. So the concept is, the whole point is to network, or to make the other tribes leaders want to network with you, you have to have supporters in your tribe. And the more supporters in your tribe you have, the more likely it is that the neighboring villages will have benefit borrowing some of your supporters. Does that make sense? Except like, I guess on social media, you don't really lose those supporters, but like in real life, you would like lose those supporters but what I'm trying to say is the concept is that's how it is. That's how it works. So going back to why I say don't worry about what to talk about is because in the beginning, you're not going to have any supporters. You're not going to have any supporters. So you like narrowing down what you talk about in the very beginning only limits the odds of you being able to find another tribe leader, quote unquote, a guest that will feel comfortable talking on your show. Say if you're a podcast and you just started, you have no supporters, you have 1 follower, and you say, I'm only going to talk about being a dentist. I'm only going to talk about, as a dentist, the different patients you deal with and the drama and the different type of dental diseases I see. Sounds great. Really creative, right? But then episode 1, so like let's say the first episode, you kind of have people in mind. Okay, my boy Timmy, he's a dentist, so and so. He did dentistry for like 2 years. He could talk about that. Say you even have like 5 people in mind who you interview. Great, right? First episode, awesome. Second episode, awesome. And say now you have 10 followers. You get about 10 followers from these 5 collabs. And then what next? Now you have 10 followers. You've already narrowed yourself down. You only talk about dentistry. And then what's next? You have 10 followers, only talk about dentistry. And now you don't know, not only do you not even know anybody else who's a dentist who you would want to interview on the show, B, the people you probably do reach out to interview you, if they aren't your close friends, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna fucking want to hop on your podcast. Because why? I hate to say it, you only have 10 followers. Do you see what I'm saying? But if you broaden your shit to say we just talk about life, or we just talk about entertainment, just a broader category, that way you will have, it might be a lesser quality of guests, no shade, but you will never not have guests. Listen, at the start of your growing your tribe, you have to take quantity over quality. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice to be picky when you're in the beginning. There's a famous saying, beggars can't be choosers. At the start of your show, at the start of your tribe, whatever, your blog, your podcast, whatever, you need to take what you can get. You can't be declining. That's why, like, if you watch I'm not gonna throw no shade. I'm not gonna throw no shade. But let's just say my first few episodes were not very talking about men's health. They weren't really talking about self-improvement because I didn't have the privilege to be selective. I kind of just had to, whoever would come on my show, it was an honor. Luckily, I never had to pay anyone to come on my show, so I do take pride in that. But let's just say a lot of the guests were my friends, and a lot of them were just, they were whatever. And they were great people, but not the type of stuff that I would talk about. So a lot of them were just rappers that I knew, people in the scene. But I say all this to say, for your first, until you build a solid audience, just don't worry on what you're going to talk about. Just talk about anything. Just be anything. And yeah, once you do that for a while, then 30 episodes in, 50 episodes in, you can start branding and be like, okay, I talk about this or I talk about that. Because now you have more supporters. Your tribe is bigger, so that the people interesting guests who have a tribe that is most likely would like the content that these true tribe leaders are going to make together are more likely to transfer over. For instance, and I'm going to use this as an example. In the past, when I would do a collab and it was some random shit, I would maybe get 1 follower, maybe 2 followers from that collab. That means that from that tribe, only 2 people related to what we're talking about. But since I've been collabing with audiences or tribe leaders whose audiences are similar to my own, so I'm more self-improvement, therapy, mental health. So since I've been collabing with other people in that department, when they see the collab, I get a much bigger, I call it recruitment level. A lot more of those supporters support me because I am just like one of their tribes leaders. So now I get anywhere from 5 to 10 follows from that collab now, because they say, oh, this guy is just like my tribe's leader. And he's talking about stuff from my tribe's leader. I'm getting shares from these people who I don't even follow. That's how you get to get, people say, oh, the following ratio is about ego. I'm not gonna lie, the following ratio is about value. I hate to say it. People always say, how do you get more followers than you're following? If you just give value, people do any other thing in the book. People buy followers. People tell people to follow them, follow for follow. And I used to do all of these, so no shade. People even follow people and then unfollow people later so that they can correct the ratio. You know how to fix that? You know how to fix your follow to follow ratio? Just make fucking good value. Bring value to people. That's all you have to do. Bring value to people, bring consistent value to people, turn on that engine and let that motherfucker stall. Keep it on. You don't turn that engine off. Put it on neutral if you have to, but keep moving. And evidence of this is literally I started completely over. I started a new Instagram a month ago from 0. And right now I'm at 77 following. I'm following 77 people. And I have 130 followers from scratch. Most people have more people. They're following more people than follows them. And I hate to say it, if you're not cheating, you're doing it the right way, that is a high indicator that you're just not bringing value. And that's completely fine. If you're just somebody, you're just on social media just to consume, you're just on social media to have a good time, to de-stress, that's brilliant. That's great. But if you're somebody, you're trying to create a business, you're somebody, you're trying to bring value, and then your following ratio is fucked up, it's time to not look outwards, not point the blame, not point the finger. Oh, they're not messing with me because they haters. Oh, they're not messing with me because they don't want to see me win. Or we could all eat, but you know what I'm saying? Where was you when I needed, you know what I'm saying? How about you just look at you and look at the content you're providing, and A, how can you pivot, make your content better, and B, how can you, it's all you. It's literally all you. The algorithm, I used to hate the algorithm, but now, I'm not going to say I love it, but the algorithm, I hate to say it, it's kind of like karma. The algorithm is literally, it follows the law of attraction. If you give value, if you genuinely are producing the best you can, giving value, the algorithm will bless you with followers. It's simple as that. Obviously there's strategies to it, like, oh, don't post at a certain time, and you know, it should be 15 seconds, and there's these little trends here and there. There's these little nitpicky stuff, but overall, over time, if you consistently bring value, your follower ratio to following will increase. And that is something that is sexy to other tribes leaders. When they see you have more followers than you're following, that even if you only have like 200 followers, but they see you're only following 50 people, you don't need that many followers. They just need to see that a lot of people are in your tribe. That's all they need to see. And it's like, he must be onto something, must be giving some kind of value. Then they check out your page, and they see how you be consistent posting every day, and it's like, this is a guy I need to work with. This is a girl I need to work with. So I hope I didn't go off on a tangent, but I just wanted to stress the value of just starting your platform, and don't cut any corners. Don't fucking buy an audience like I did. Please don't. Like, it'll save you. I wasted, like, I don't want to say I wasted, but like 6 months of this whole, it was more like a year. I wasted about 9 months not really growing and wasted probably $2,000 to $3,000 because it was expensive. And just like thinking that, whatever, this fake audience is gonna give me better guests. And it's like, I was so focused on like getting bigger guests on my show, I wasn't just working on making a better show. So it really just halts you. Even if I did get that really big guest, the value and the consumption would have eventually hit this plateau where I would have started tanking. That's why you see people, they get to perform at Summer Smash like once, and then like that's all they were building up to, and they finally get it, and they perform at Summer Smash, and then they go back to, getting 10 views on their story. They go back to they post after they finish posting all these cloudy, look at me with so and so, look at me with so and so on stage, and they just go back to like this regular normal. It's not sustained success. If you want sustained success, you have been building your tribe for a long time and have been consistent. And yeah, and don't get bitter with building your platform. A lot of people go into thinking building their platform is like, oh, it's something overnight, right? It's something that it's like, okay, I do it for like a month, and then like I'll start seeing results, and then I can kind of chill. I really hate, the sound of my voice, so I hope I don't got to do this for a long time. Or I really like, this video thing, I just kind of want to do it just enough to like get the audience and then stop. And listen, if that's your mentality, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to look in the mirror, and you need to like, people like, get palm bended knee and then propose to their future wife, or people, kids in school, they would do this thing. I don't know if y'all do that now, but they would call it a blood swear. That everybody would cut their wrist, and then they would share their blood, and then it was like a blood tie, and it was like, we're gonna be friends forever, right? So people do all that, but what I don't see is like, are you doing a blood tie with the tribe that you're gonna build? Are you building up? Are you getting married? Are you proposing to this show that you're gonna be doing? I don't want to say for the rest of your life, but you need to look in the mirror and say, I will be doing this show consistently 5 to 10 years minimum. And if you can say that with a straight face and mean the fuck out of that, because I'm not gonna lie, the first month is gonna be nice. Like, oh, I'm doing something new, I feel good. You'll have all this energy, and then week 6 hits, and you don't have any guests, and you don't have any topics, and then work fucking kicked your ass, and then it's literally the day before the podcast episode. You didn't do any research. He's like, what am I gonna talk about? And you stayed up late partying, but now it's like, it's okay if I miss this week. It's okay. That's when the doubts start creeping in. It's like, am I really cut out for this? Am I cut from this cloth? Do I have what it takes? You start questioning yourself, right? And it's like, that's when that proposal you did, that proposal energy kick in, that oath, that blood oath start kicking in. Then you'd be like, oh no, I'm married to the game. Oh, I did a blood oath. And then guess what? It might be a shitty episode. It might be a dream kind of bleary episode, but guess what? You put something out. Even if it got no views, even if it got bad reviews, even if you lost a follower because it was so bad, at least in your head, that part of your brain that's like, listen, even though today was a shitty day, we still did the thing. We still kept our word and followed through. And then that gives you energy. It's like, okay, if I still made that episode on the worst day, and let's be real, we don't have a worst day every week. So it's like, that means that even if I miss 1 or 2 episodes, most of my days are like good or like at least average. That'll give you like proof. Sometimes you need evidence that you can conquer the worst days to give you the energy, right? To be hopeful that you're going to be able to continue that for most of the days, right? So I don't know if that's too deep to process, but I just kind of want to put that out there. And yeah, that is the energy. And if you do that, just start your podcast and just don't get caught up in how many people following you. Just keep your head down. And I never say keep your head down, but in this case, just you gotta have tunnel vision and just keep going. And the third thing I want to mention is like, don't get bitter. There's 2 types of people in this world. There's supporters and there's seers, right? Supporters are people, even if you had no followers. Supporters are people, even if you was a rapper and they didn't like any of your lyrics and you was talking about getting money, shooting up the block and fucking bitches, but they still supported you. Those are supporters, right? And these are the people who are there for the journey. These are the people who are there for the growth. And these people usually are your close friends. These people are usually your family. These are people who like, they know who you are deep down, and then they'll let you screw up a little bit. They'll let you kind of basically like, you're not on the 3 strikes, you're out with them. You know, it's not unconditional, but they really mess with you. They really mess with the cause. On the other side, you have seers. Seers are people who they have a high affinity towards you. These are your acquaintances. They kind of like you, but also like they're not really committed like that. They don't want to say no to you, but at the same time, they're not going to do anything you ask them to do. These are the people, like they really mess with you, and then they'll party with you on the weekend, and every once in a while they'll come to your yoga class, or they'll come support you every once in a while, but they kind of need a little more convincing. They kind of need to see more supporters mess with you for them. And the thing is, these people can be converted into supporters, but they just need to see more supporters first. So these people are kind of like, they kind of clout chasers. They kind of, I wouldn't call them complete clout chasers, because like clout chasers are like the people that didn't even mess with you before they even didn't like you, and then they mess with you. But I would say the seers are, they kind of liked you, their vibes, but they still won't. These are the people you'll hit them up on like episode 5 when you had 10 followers to be on the podcast, and you'll write this beautiful message of, oh, I would love for you to talk about this, and you know, you'll rub it on heavy, you'll grease it up, you'll add extra cheese, you know, like, oh, and you do this, and the way you do hair, and I think my audience, blah blah blah, whatever, long ass message. And A, they'll either like leave it on red, B, don't even open your message, or C, they'll be like, oh yeah, I love that, I love to be on your podcast, but then never like text back or follow up. So these are all seers to me. And I'm not going to mention any names, but this has happened to me so many times where I've reached out to people in the past and they've been quiet. And then like 30 episodes later, and you'll kind of see them slowly trying to like worm their way back into your good graces. Like you'll see them, you'll post an episode, like this is a great episode. You'll see them comment like, oh, that was amazing. They'll start commenting on like the other episodes. But then like when you don't like reach back out to them, they'll eventually get to a point, they'll DM you and be like, oh yeah, I forgot, I know you hit me up like a year ago and I was just going through something and I was just busy, but I really did want to do it, and so whatever. It doesn't matter what the fuck they say, and it could even be true, but just know that they are seers. And it's nothing wrong about being a seer. We're all seers to somebody else's platform. Like for example, I'm a seer to like the Barbs. You know, Barbs are like not Kim. Barbs are like Nicki Minaj's supporters. I'm not even a seer, but also I wouldn't say I'm a clout chaser either, because I don't hate Nicki Minaj. I would say I'm a seer. Like I would not go to her show, but like if I'm at a festival and some friends like, oh, you want to go to Nicki Minaj's shit? And I'll be like, sure. And it's like nobody else there, I would just go along and see it. So I would say I'm a seer, right? But at the same time, if Nicki Minaj was like not Nicki Minaj and she made the same type of music, I definitely wouldn't be going to see it. So part of the reason I fuck with Nicki Minaj is because like she has this big fan base. She's made it so far. So because of that, yeah, I'll go see her set. I don't know if that makes sense, but the point I'm trying to make is a seer isn't like a type of person. A seer is a type of person to you. Everybody has a seer to them, and everybody has supporters. That same seer who is a seer to me is probably a supporter to Nicki Minaj. That same seer who was like on the fence with me is probably a supporter to Kanye West. So the point is, don't take it personal. Don't be bitter. Just acknowledge that we all have seer in us, seer energy in us. Some people have more seer energy than supporter energy. But at the end of the day, who are your seers? It doesn't matter if they're a seer or a supporter. Who are your supporters? And you need to identify your supporters, keep them close. You need to, ask for their opinions. You need to find a way to involve them. And I'm working on that. A lot of these things I'm working on. But you need to find a way to just hold your supporters close, because you can't lose your supporters. They can become seers, and then they can go from seers to clout chasers. You don't want them to go to that point. So I say all this to say, this was a long episode. This is a lot. I kind of been waiting to talk about this because this is like what I do with my podcast. And yeah, I just wanted to deliver as much information as possible. This is just, I could do a whole like podcast about a podcast, like how to do it, how to run it, the mechanics. This just scratches the surface. But I hope this is enough information for you all to just overcome that roadblock of just holding back and just like continuously obsessing over, should I start it or not? Should I start a podcast? What should it be about? And just do it. I hope this gave you the push you needed to start your podcast. Or it doesn't have to be a podcast, your blog. Just start building your tribe. Start your show, because your show is what is going to give you the fuel you need to actually get the value that you have to the people who need it, right? And yeah, start your show. Start now. Start ASAP, because shows are something that you don't start getting the benefits till like 1, 2, 3 years sometimes in the future. So yeah, I hope this gave y'all the kick in the ass, you feel me? And with that being said, stay hydrated, stay breathing in that good ass oxygen. And most importantly, stay basic. I love you.
You check it. Man, we was all kids once upon a time.